All right, folks, well, we're back again. And let me start straight away, folks. There's something that is called Jandam Promax. It's like I'm joking, but I'm not joking. It's called Jandam Promax. Let me explain. Look, Jandam is obvious lies. Jandam is when you fabricate lies and lie about it. There's no iota of truth in it. That is Jandam. But Jandam Promax is when you take lies, but you confuse people with it because there are some other circumstances that you can include. So you throw dust into people's eyes. That's called Jandam Promax. There's some Jandam Promax going on right now that I want to kill. But before I do that, let me say a big up to two guys. They are both in the UK. They live in the UK. They came to Ghana to hang out, and they chose to come and hang out at Cactus Creek. So for all of you guys out there in the diaspora that hear me talk about Cactus Creek all the time, I love it when you come to Ghana and you stop by. Let me say a big hi to my man Anthony, who was here with me, and we hung out. We had a nice big chat. And then just yesterday, another person came. He was Philip. Philip too came all the way from the UK. He also came to hang out with me at the creek. So, hey, big up to all of you, and all of you in the diaspora, Pacho, Mobagana, come to Abri. And when you get to Abri, come to Cactus Creek.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
And when you come to Cactus Creek, look for me. Okay, now, folks, and here just the introduction. Today I said I was going to talk about Jandam Promax. There was one time that somebody was telling me that the best lie is a lie that you can couch with some element of truth in it. Or can you chimo? Or say, "U try to not do it." Try a ben no kre. But so try throw the try a ben no kre, which means there must be some truth somewhere. It's not related, but you do it in such a way that you relate it, and then you deliver the lie. And we're from the Jandam Promax. Let me tell you about some Jandam Promax going on right now. And I'm sure all of you have heard it. Some hogwash. Some absolutely nonsensical stuff. Something that makes no sense whatsoever. Do you know what the Jandam Promax is? Wontumi is a political prisoner.
Chairman Wontumi, Abanku Koma le da kwatwe no e ya amanyosem sebi ene boni bi no akwakoye. Oye political prisoner. Amanyosem ti ene na kwatwe Abanku Koma. E ya amanyosem ti ene ndisi aban ene kwatwe Abanku Koma.
For the first time, we are seeing political imprisonment. Wontumi is a political prisoner.
So, folks, let me tell you what bothers me about this. Two things. So, first, Afenyo King is a lawyer. He's an attorney. I actually heard him being referred to as a senior attorney. Justin Kodia is himself another lawyer. You know, which means politics. Folks, this is what surprised me. These two are lawyers. And honestly, I thought lawyers would be the ones who will be educating us non-legal thinkers. But you know what I really find amazing? What's his name? Andy Kubi. He was one of director tennis for Wontumi. He himself says that his imprisonment is not political. He says the case that he reviewed had nothing political in it. What he said, though, was that the sentence was too harsh and he doesn't agree with the sentence. I can respect that, you know. But basically, he himself admits that it was not political.
The narrative that has been put out about Chairman Wontumi's imprisonment is that he's a political prisoner. You handled this part of this particular trial. Do you agree with that?
I agree that the evidence on record cannot support the verdict.
Is he a political prisoner?
Well, I'm saying, I mean, I didn't see any politics in the records.
Lawyer no did not say no. Then how much less those who are just standing by the side? No, Appiah could be NPP guy, you know. And what I like about him, on your home, Becca, he's the same guy who actually started this whole crusade against Ken Ofori-Atta, that he was wrecking the party. So what I like about Andy is that at least on your home, Becca, whether it's for the party or whether it's going against the party, he wants things to be done the right way. But that's besides the issue. When it comes to throwing dust, and I'm from the Jandam Promax, you know, you throw dust in the people's eyes. And that's what I see happening, that there's a lot of now attempts to describe Wontumi as a political prisoner. Please, it's a lie. It is a complete lie. Number one, what is a political prisoner? You can go and Google or ChatGPT or go anywhere to find out dictionary, what is a political prisoner? A political prisoner is somebody that is sent to prison because of his or her political views. Because of that reason, no. The primary reason you send a political prisoner to prison is because of what the guy has said politically, because of the person's political affiliation, because of the way the guy has expressed themselves politically, which is in adverse to yours. So please, a political prisoner is one who has been sent primarily for politics. Nelson Mandela, straight up, he was a political prisoner. He was campaigning against apartheid. He was debating against apartheid. It was clear that he was focused on bringing down apartheid. So he was clearly a political prisoner. And that is the primary reason he spent so many years in jail. 25, 27 years, I don't know. It was for political reasons. For crying out loud. In the name of wisdom and intelligence, please, Wontumi is not capital N, capital O, capital T. Wontumi is not a political prisoner. But let me tell you why I say this is Jandam Promax. Because Wontumi is known to be a vile, vicious, uncouth person. And you'll be in him. He can be vile, he can be vicious, he can be uncouth. We all know that. We have all seen clips of him insulting Mahama, insulting Lodina, castigating them, telling all kinds of rubbish.
Ayi Lodina Mahama, the mate, our neneti, aye, you know. O kupima ba o baya o ba betoswa Mahama. Mahama wa hamano. What does it?
Vinjena no puku. He said it was a witch and a thief, all sorts of things.
Now she mami na nimu ni tirinwi. What does it? Obi wa ho to me who said one so e by for.
Now hear me out, folks. Because he is so uncouth, and he has insulted the president, and he's verbally so vulgar. Because of that, well, Jandam, no. The Jandam is basing the truth of on the issue that he is vulgar. On Kasaye, Papa. That is true. It is vulgar. So the Jandam has taken that element and say, this is the real reason Wontumi is in jail. It's a lie. And I know, this is what the guy was. This is what I'm explaining by Promax Jandam. You know, because he's affiliated with that kind of insults and the kinds of things he said about the presidency and the vice. Because of that, it is easy for those who want to throw dust in the eyes of people. Pretend say, we're panting or co-prison. You and I know it's a lie. You and I know it's a lie. His lawyers know that that is a lie. They know that Wontumi is not in prison because of the insults and all that. They haven't said that, they won't say it, but they are throwing the dust in the eyes of the public out there. So, or a political prisoner, because a political prisoner is by definition somebody who is going to jail because of their political affiliation. That is a political prisoner. Until you see how the two have been mixed, and dust has been thrown in the eyes of people, and people are now vehemently saying that he's a political prisoner. So I just wanted to begin today's show by forcefully, this one I'm not attacking Jandam, Jandam Promax is very sophisticated. They built in some other things to make it seem true, but no, Wontumi is not in jail for the things he said about the president and his wife. He's not in jail about the things he said about the party and DC. He's not in jail for none of those things. So he's in jail for the galamsey. Bank issue hasn't come in.
It is clear from our investigation that Chairman Wontumi and his company, Wontumi Farms Limited, made fraudulent misrepresentations to Exim Bank with a view to obtaining the loan facility, and in fact did obtain the loan facility. The equipment they represented were to be purchased were never procured. The farming enterprise never materialized, and so no young persons were employed in Asare Nkwanta in the Ashanti region. But more importantly, the company and its director and CEO forged a receipt in order to deceive Exim Bank that they were in compliance with the loan conditions. These are not mere breaches of a contract, but constitute acts of criminality by no means a person than the regional chairman of the then ruling party. In the circumstances and the face of the evidence we have gathered in this investigation, thoroughly conducted by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, we have made the decision to prosecute Wontumi Farms and its directors with defrauding by false pretenses, forgery, and causing financial loss to the state in the sum of 24,255,735 Ghana cedis.
And for anybody who is really in the right mind, suggests that galamsey is nothing to go to jail about, I find it very, very surprising. Because even the jail term that is now between 15 and 25 years was added into the constitution by the NPP, fighting against galamsey, which I support that they did, and to make galamsey so unattractive. It was under the NPP that they changed the clause and they added that you go to jail, minimum or the range is 15-25. You know, so to turn around now and showcase Wontumi's crimes against I didn't want to say humanity because that's a huge thing, but crimes against poverty. Look at the poor people that lived in those areas that have been bomb deformed. Huge heads, very funny eyes, some have like 4 fingers, some have 6 toes, Plenty of them have heart conditions and things. And folks, to close your eyes to all of that and say, oh, it was just galamsey, is being very, very crazy. Please, folks, he is not a political prisoner. And I think it's time that part of Ghana resetting, part of building the nation, we all get to the point where we accept crime as a crime. If you look at the logic that is being pushed out now, that Wontumi is being called a political prisoner, the logic is that he is not in jail because of the galamsey. He's in jail because he's NPP. Isn't that the most ridiculous thing anyone can think of? How is that possible? Look, what's his name? Aboagye is alleged to have committed so much crime in terms of stealing and in terms of, mismanaging their funds. So much of it. We all read it every day. You read it, I read it. The alleged amount of money, you can call it misappropriation or whatever, stolen, to be frank, $7 million. You know that, I know that, it's in the papers that allegedly stolen 1 million, 7 million. This is all in the papers now. But check this. If the court should decide that they have done all their investigations and they have tried him and he's in fact guilty of having stolen $7 million and he's sentenced to jail, his lawyers will come and have a press conference. Aboagye, political prisoner. Why? And the logic there is that he has gone to jail, Muhammad Nakotum, or he has gone to jail under Muhammad's administration, so he's a political prisoner. I'm telling you, if Aboagye is convicted, all of a sudden the narrative will change. He is a political prisoner. Giftoawari is being charged allegedly with payroll, fraudulence and everything to the tune of 38 million Ghana cedis. He's on trial now. She's going to court, back forth. I'm saying the day that the court decides that no, this and that, you are being charged and you are going to go to prison for it, bam, political persecution. Isn't that's why the other time I was talking about the sad development in our politics is that in Ghana, what is good for the goose is not good for the gander. No. And in these terms, I'm talking about NDC and NPP and when people were sent to jail under fast track and high profile people, including ministers of finance and their deputy, including Chachua. High-profile people were sent to jail under fast track. It was okay. Kufuor had the power by and on the fast track by. It was okay. It was worthy of praise. Under NPP. But when things change, and now is NDC also now saying we are going to retrieve the loot, it has become persecution.
What we are experiencing in this country is persecution.
It has become a personal vendetta.
This committee is only in for personal vendetta.
What a one, as the Rastarians will say. What is going on? I don't get it. So please, this whole aspect of political prisoners, let us get it out of our lexicon. If under the NPP, Chachu was not a political prisoner, if under NPP, Salome and Mr. Pripra were not political prisoners, don't tell us now that Wontumi is a political prisoner. Because as I'm saying, by logic, it means that all the people who have been charged and who are being investigated, and there are plenty of them, unfortunately, that Mr. Hanan, I think he's with Buffer Stock. There's Hamid, you know, he was also an official. There are so many people who have been charged now, allegedly, for loot. those people happen to be in the NPP, that mean that it is political? That is what the sophisticated Jandam Promax is getting people to believe now. That is the only thing. That once they claim that they are coming from the NPP stock, is politics. Really? So the 38 million somebody has chopped or misappropriated at the National Service Secretariat, that is political? Isn't that all on the books? Said this money has been stolen, it is political. Why case of $7 billion? That too is political? My goodness. We're all in this country when His Excellency Nado went abroad to, and they were asking him about the people who are being jailed in terms of, a friend is saying, galamsey. He said he's just leaving the law to work. He is not the one who imprisoned them.
I'm not responsible for jailing people in Ghana. The courts in Ghana are independent institutions, and they have been all through this period of the Fourth Republic. People misconduct themselves and they're brought before court. It's for the court to deal with them. That's not a matter.
It has nothing to do about politics.
It has nothing to do with the executive.
So there, court, court. But when it comes to Wontumi, there is not the court that is jailing him. It is because of what? And like I said, you can throw dust in people's eyes and get them to believe, so it is not the court because he never said anything intelligent or dignified statements about Mahama or the wife or the NDC. So you take that truth and you mix it with so many things and say, no, but that is the real reason why he's in jail. No. He's in jail and it is not politics. So I want to kill the Jandam Promax today. You know, let me show you the extent of which this dust that has been thrown into the eyes are making. There's this woman, I don't know her name, who's supposed to be an aide to Bamia. She was on radio giving an interview. I want you to listen to her analysis of what is going on with Wontumi. Take a listen.
And she said, a common said, ne, oka say, a end is for a do 2 more. Does that mean say end is for a beer? My breast do almost some court to do almost 2 a year more, and I'm doing 2 more. And I said, no, they are court and do almost 2 more.
And this year by the Chairman Wontumi at to prison. And a yakosra.
Chinese abandoned 2. Do you believe in the judiciary?
And this year by the Chairman Wontumi at to.
Uji or may court to Shishan, Uji Deepa,
NDC Abang, led by President John Dramani Mahama, at the Chairman Wontumi at to prison 20 years.
And see, one more Mabreso, or more Code Muninano, a Yamapen and Nado, any NPP Abang, and they don't go to your court, and they don't go to
NDC Abang, at the Chairman Wontumi at to for 20 years.
When you make court in you.
NDC Abang, led by John Mahama, President, at the Chairman Wontumi, NPP Chairman for Ashanti Region, at to prison for 20 years. Almost say, some of children, yes, a chairman, the concession on Aboagye. On a serious note, one can ye, I will be a papa could di Apako Yemugala, say, and Wunti, and NDC Abang, the Chairman Wontumi.
Would you say? Say you can't say NDC are buying NPP are buying the assembly and also being tia to mua. A beboye and I say sanity. In reality, sanity and Paniampa say, one more party knows they say, Nako say, I buy or no say open a opponent to Codefiasia. Now, Sa Bino, and my penny or Sabreno, and they didn't go to them when you're right and go to mu. A year, am I yourself to depend on the Bonu, Nimbonu, the town which broke back to a possible side woman.
NDC Abang. I at say, I the Chairman Wontumi, NPP Regional Chairman, Ashanti Region, I got to prison 20 years.
Said in Tamakru, Nanado Danko for any NPP are buying the two man as a quarter.
That's your cup of tea. Maybe the other my country.
Maybe so.
And this said the Chairman Wontumi.
Said in Tamakru, former Maslow boss. Or no, Nanado Danko for any NPP are buying the two man as a main mara and the two buying at the Chairman Wontumi at 20 years.
There you go. You know, the radio host intentionally asked him several times, so are you suggesting that Wontumi is a political prisoner and Mahama sent him to jail? No matter what you ask, that's the answer. Mahama sent him to jail. I don't blame her. She knows it's the right thing she's saying. She knows it's a lie, but this is called the Jandam Promax. Or maybe she's a victim of Jandam Promax because they've thrown gas into her eyes too, and is now solidly believing that her hero, Wontumi, is a political prisoner who has been jailed by Mahama. And the sad thing for me is that there are many of her ilk who have believed this Jandam Promax. But on the other side too, before I go on to anything else, I want Ghanaians to know how happy I am that there are many Ghanaians as well. You can't throw that into their eyes. So, people that are talking about this and say, now Moses saying political. These are not even sophisticated attorneys. These are your average folks, what Ghanaians will have to call the ordinary Ghanaian. What we would like to call the ordinary Ghanaian, whatever that means. They are even aware that Wontumi's imprisonment is not a political issue. Neither if Aboagye should go in, neither if Gifty should go in, neither if Hanan should go in, neither anyone who's been accused of loot should go in. The fact that they belong to a political party does not make them a political prisoner or prisoners. My dear young one, Miracles has also throwing that out. Everything has been done. He has, what's the word? He used the word framed. Framed means people have put certain things together so that the evidence will come against you. So even Miracles is saying that he was framed by the NDC, that actually he's innocent.
Eventually now, then he came back
to IMCC
now as the
executive secretary.
So now that is where the issue starts. Inti mena na me feel say me mo mama ne permanent job or civil service no. Am say sa 2 months bi no kofi no anye ne de. Nani anje. Inti oda hye ne mu. Inti oba no, I remember correctly, the first 3 months he called me. In fact, my mutual friend be friend me catch him say, Gamele say then call for the money pressure say you should find something on you. Because my buying pressure into no. I'm telling you this.
And planting the idea now that what is going through is nothing to do with the law. It is nothing to do with the alleged 55 million. It is nothing. Everything has to do with the fact that he was a spokesman for Aboagye, or was a communicator for the NPP, and that is why they are framing him so he would shut up. And this is what he said in an interview. Even said that when he went to Yoko, the 55 million was not on the table. It was not even discussed.
For the purposes of emphasis and clarity, you read Yoko's letters. Now you know what GAPT is in the audit report.
Yes.
Now you know what PNY investment is in the audit report. And now you know what BIMABA is in the audit report. These are the 3 things that Yoko invited me to discuss with me on.
Based on the petition from
the current executive secretary. Obi, Yankani Nina Boom, 3.2 million for GAPT.
Yes.
588,000 for the PNY investment.
Which has already been.
Student has already been, but they make us and make a point.
Okay.
And then 5.2 million for GAPT. Okabumwa, 9 million and 5,000.
9 million and 5,000.
5,000.
Okay. These are the three issues flagged by the audit report.
And these are the three issues written
by
the executive secretary. Okay. And these are the three issues written to me by Yoko. And yet, miraculously, under some strange circumstances, Yoko, in even writing on the back of the invitation on the petition from IMCC, still inflated this 9 million
to 20 million.
If you say these are the three issues, then these three issues do not amount to 20 million. They amount to 9 million. For whatever reason why you did 20, you only know. For an organization like Yoko, you don't do that to your citizen. You don't. You don't do that to your citizen. Knowing very well that this is what you are discussing with me in there.
Yes.
And then you put out there a different figure. In fact, I've asked them.
You've asked them about the 50.
Yes, I asked them. As far as you've been able to put it out there in a statement there, that means you've settled on some. Okay, can you please tell me, as I am sitting here, the kana 55 million offer our they told me say almost 55 million will be
Yoko officers.
Yes, catch them say they didn't give any 55 million out to anybody.
It wasn't even discussed. Maybe it's true, maybe it wasn't. But it's interesting that the Deputy Attorney General also came to contradict what Miracles has said. This is his opinion of what happened.
Recently, what's his name? Miracles. He came out to say that nobody questioned him about 55 million, that it was questionable. And people believe that. People believe that. Because Miracle is saying it, everybody believes that that is the truth. And nobody is even interested in asking Yoko, how do you even conclude that is true? And you see, Yoko is not under any obligation to be responding to things like that. Law enforcement, we are not under any obligation. At the end of the day, we will bring you to court. We will charge you. You will have your day. So whether we ask you about 55 or we ask you about 5, it's not even our headache. Eventually, whatever we find on you, we'll bring it to court. At that point, we have had situations where people have said nothing. In the end, did they not say that they want plea bargaining? When they said no, we came back, they just kept us there, they didn't ask us any question. But the moment they are charged, they said they want plea bargaining. So I want the public to understand that law enforcement, because of the nature of the work we do and because it's investigation, it's not everything that law enforcement can respond to. But that doesn't also mean that lack of responding to some of these things means that the person who is saying it is right or is correct. That's all I want the public to just be very aware of that.
Is Dennis wrong in that when he tells us?
Of course, he's completely wrong. I mean, you cannot say that it was no question about 55. Completely wrong.
Was he questioned on the 55 minutes?
Yes.
I see. So he's very much aware of why he was kept in there.
Let's not even go further. He's very much aware.
I see.
So, who they lie now? It be Miracles they lie or it be Attorney General they lie. I'll give the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe the Attorney General did not come through. And I tell Miracles, oh, you have said this, but you know what I'm waiting for? There's going to be a final charge sheet that will come out of Yoko. Yoko will eventually, by law, will have to come up with a charge sheet and list all the charges for which Miracle has been accused. It will be listed. It will be written. It is on that day that I open my mouth and say, so Miracle, you are lying because this 55 million is written here. This is the official charge sheet. Miracles, you are lying. Or I'll say, but Sashim, how come you also gave me a different thing? Because what you said is not in the charge here. But either way, that is all an aside. Either way, the fact is this, and the truth of the matter is this, that Miracles, you have been involved in some crime. The charge sheet will tell us exactly what happened. But the point I'm making is that at the end of the day, if anything should happen and the court finds you guilty and jails you, please, for crying out loud, don't come and tell me you are a political prisoner. Because I don't buy it. So, folks, today I just wanted to, because I've been hearing this political thing too long, I wanted to give you my take on it and let Ghanaians understand. So, dear Kosuno, the good thing about this is this. It's the first time, not actually the first time, but this is one of the few times that Ghana is starting to prove that the rule of law is working. The rule of law is working. If the rule of law catches up with me, KSM, I expect them to come and by law put the cuffs on my hand. Whatever I did wrong legally, and the law says I should be arrested because they have the evidence after their investigation. It is the law. It is the law. So what I'm saying, what I'm kind of happy about is that gradually Ghanaians will start understanding that when the law is working, the law is working. So to my dear woman that was on the TV talking about Mahama has jailed him, it is petty, it is childish, and it's one of my comments, somebody used a very interesting word, that the people are displaying a pedestrian argument with infantile thinking. I'll find your name and pick you up, man. I'm sure you know yourself. He said it was a pedestrian analysis with infantile thinking. Thank you very much for both. I'm using some. I'll come and pay my copyright. But please, the woman, I don't know your name, but please, your suggestion about this being political is both pedestrian and infantile. So let's move on to Bill Ghana, because they say, it's about time. It took us long enough, but I'm telling you, Ghanaians, let us all sit up and say, never again, never again must any group of politicians under any political name whatsoever come and bleed Ghana like Ghana was bled 8 years. He bleedy. That's why sometimes I find it funny when those who bled the country say we shouldn't worry because the tables will turn.
The table will turn.
Definitely.
2028, it will turn.
Definitely.
Bamia is coming.
The table will turn. And I can assure you that we shall bounce back in 2028. But when the tables turn,
the tables will turn. The tables will turn. Only communication. I'm telling you, the tables will turn. 2028, you'll be in opposition. 2028.
You know Zito is a very popular man on social media. He says, what tables will turn? They will somersault. You know somersault. If you are not the same, please go. You know something? All of us retirees, we love TikTok. Share and every time we are sending things, you see. Well, I was scrolling through TikToks in my boredom, and I saw this funny TikTok about this woman talking about how the tables are going to turn. Take a look at this.
Hey, the table will turn for the table nini o. Afenyo, the table will turn. Table nini. My peja kura free ho. Wow. Table nini. The table will turn. The table will turn. Table nini. My peja free baby esino. The table will turn. My peja table no crow and see what na turn. What was that turn dada? Table will turn. Table no kaya peja. Fui.
So there we're back. I told you that every Ghanaian has their own idea. Here's somebody's very, very funny impression of the tables having been turned. But let's end on this very, very serious note, folks. Let us stop this pedestrian and infantile analysis. Let us face Ghana with truth, honesty, and integrity and build this country again. Because we can. And Ghana will get there. And in my final statement, I just want to say, Wontumi is not a political prisoner. Neither would all the rest become a political prisoner just because they belong to the NPP. Was there not a Greater Accra regional minister and the NPP? Was there not a Western regional minister and the NPP? Were there no regional ministers all over Ghana and the NPP? Why Wontumi? And why do you want to say that? Because of him, dear, political. If it was political, Greater Accra regional chairman and all the other regional chairmen or women would have been hauled. So Munyakasa. Folks, we're back again. Let us focus on this country. I'm telling you, as difficult as it is to nation build, we now have somebody who has put their heart on resetting and building the nation, and we have to back this person. And I say that all the time. By the time Ghana is at 70, clear signs will be up showing that this country, yes, I have a view. The black stars have risen again.
Ya bompaye Shamachi Shra Yehuwa Ilahenu Yehuwa Ekat We Ahata Et Yehuwa Elohika Bika Luvika Uvika Navashika Uvika Miyodika Tode Yashak Tode Yashak Tode Yashak in English, in the name of Jesus. Amen.
Amen.